Hey guys, welcome back to the Transformation Church Message Recap Podcast. I almost messed it up. We are back.
We're back after a week off.
2 weeks,
No.
right?
Nope.
Oh,
we
just
had
one?
week off.
We just missed.
Oh.
Yeah, it's only one.
Oh, we're back after 1 week. We took a week off because I don't know why. Something happened last
we were
week.
golfing.
Yeah.
We went
Y'all
golfing.
canceled on me.
We were golfing last week. Yep.
I was here working.
Yeah.
John was here working, but you guys weren't.
Took some
Hey,
PTO.
I took a PTO day.
PTO day. Yeah.
I took a PTO day.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. No,
you guys deserved it.
It was way too hot to be golfing. Let me just say that. But we did it. We did it.
Yeah.
And we're back. So I'm one of your hosts, Justin. Rick's with us.
Hey.
And good old Pope Joy. We're all in shorts.
Yep.
And John set this up while all of our legs are out. So
The question is, who has better legs out of all three of us?
mine are the whitest, I'm sure.
Yes, like fluorescent bulb, light
They're
bulbs.
so white.
Yeah. I think I had the best calves
I
out
have
of all of us.
white, like my feet are white because of playing golf. I don't know why y'all needed to know that, but
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with mine. They're just
Have you ever tried self-tan? Like self-tanning lotion?
you should.
You should.
You should.
You should try that.
A lot of people do it.
Yeah.
Like it's a normal thing.
Like even some of my wife's stuff. Like she self-tans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's really, really white.
Wonder what Trump
like
uses.
pastry white. He probably uses like this orange creamsicle thing. So
I think he used to tan more in a tanning bed, but now he's kind of like
probably.
maybe use self tanner because I think they make self tanners now that actually look.
yeah,
I'm not
because
opposed to it.
I
I've
think he
never
still
done it.
tans though because like he has those those little white
Does he
pockets
still
around
have
his
those?
eyes. It looks like to me.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
yes.
I'm not opposed to that. I just never bought any or anything.
You should
but
try it.
Yeah.
Let us know. Or maybe you could do it on the podcast. Put self tanner on the podcast. That would be awesome.
Yeah. So,
segment on the
anyways,
podcast.
But I was born
here
with
they
a
are in
natural
all their
tan.
glory, out here for the world to see. Yeah, it's been a lot going on the last couple of weeks.
Going Pastor
busy.
Rick preached. Come on.
2 weeks ago.
That was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, that was
You did,
good.
You did, and then I don't know what you preached on.
Wow, it's forgettable. Yeah.
Something about Jesus.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Living at
Jesus.
peace with everyone.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I liked the illustration the most at the end with the song with the band.
Yeah.
That was cool. How you brought the band in.
Listen,
Yeah.
somebody called me yesterday and they were like, "Hey, I just watched your sermon online. Why did you pick that song? Like, out of every song you could have picked, why that one?"
That's
And
a good question.
It is, and so the reason why I did it was because to me at the time it was a multi-generational song. So from the early '80s that was there, and it was played by the Police and Sting. Then it moved on to the '90s by Puffy. But then it actually came back a couple of years ago. It was all over TikTok. So my kids even know the song. Even though they weren't born in the 90s, there was a dance to it. And so that's why for me, I chose that
I remember
song.
that.
Yeah. So that's why I chose the song because it was
Well, yeah, Puffy redid it after
after
Biggie
Sting.
died.
Yeah.
I think they named it something else. I'll Be Missing You versus
I'll be missing you versus John. What was it?
Every Step You
Every
Take.
step you take. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I only know the Puffy version because I
knew the original.
I like the hip hop era.
But I remember the Puffy version. Like I remember watching it on MTV and stuff.
I think it was the worst music video. It didn't make sense, but
Well, I guess I just remember it.
yeah. But
It was a good song. And I
Still a
remember
great song.
when he performed it at the VMAs with Sting.
oh yeah.
In
that
like
was so good.
96 or 97 or whatever year that was. I do remember that. But yeah, good song. I mean,
Yeah. It's good.
good song.
And
So-
you're a little nervous about how that was going to play out.
Oh,
during
I
the
was
sermon,
extremely nervous.
but it was phenomenal.
Thank
it
you.
was really good.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't know if I was gonna have to cut it after the 8:30 service because
Oh yeah,
So,
But no,
but it seemed it was well received.
Yeah.
this whole series has been good with everybody. All of us have now spoke once, and
Yep.
we had Pastor Brad back speaking on Sunday through video.
The video, yep.
Which it's not the first time we've done that.
Second time.
Second, I think,
Yeah.
time we've done that. I know there's some mixed people. I know people aren't expecting it, so they're like, "Why is it on video?" Which he explained in the
He did
beginning.
explain it. Yeah.
Yeah.
As part of our, it's get used to seeing some things on video. It's not that it's different for if you've never experienced that, but it's not new in the church world to have the message kind of done that way. So
And I'll be honest, with our big LED screen, I can tell the difference, but it doesn't matter to me, because the word was still fire. Like it was so good. And so yeah, because you still have the engagement from us on staff. The worship was still live. Everything was great. And so
yeah. Well, and it's like, and I know we don't have it in our room, but in a lot of rooms, if the room's larger and they have the screens that are, what we call iMag, where it's a camera on the person and then they're up on the screen. If you're in a room that has that, you're watching the screen anyways, most likely.
Absolutely.
So it's not the end of the world. I don't personally believe it takes anything away from the message or, the powerfulness of what can happen. I understand some people are like, if I was going to just watch a video, I could have watched online like that. Right. I understand that. I still think you're discounting what church is if that's what you do.
Right, right. Because it's not about the pastor that's on stage. When people come to church, you hear a great word, but it's about the relationship. It's the environment,
the whole experience, experience between just connecting with your church family and live praise and worship and all that on top of hearing the word. So, if that's if the mentality is, I wouldn't have come had I known, I think that's probably the wrong attitude to have, honestly.
I think so too.
And that's something I would say my advice or encouragement would be as like another Christian, like probably just check that a little bit, because it's not just about that. But I do get it because it's new.
No, I understand.
I understand
it, but Scripture says, "Don't forsake the the assembly of the brethren." This doesn't say only if the pastor's preaching. So you're meant to be there together as a family. And
I think we have done good. I think our church is good. Like in the fact that how many weeks has it been since Pastor Brad has preached? And he talks about this, like this series. We're gonna have all the different guests, and if you're not new with us, he takes the July off. That's what he does, and we all step in. But a lot of churches, if the main preacher, the pastor is not there, people don't want to show up. Like they won't advertise that they're not speaking or they're out of town or whatever because people don't want to come. Yeah. Which I think is weird. I feel like this keeps falling, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. It's not falling.
No, that's what that's what I tell a lot of the students team when they come on is like people that want to volunteer. It's like, hey, understand that the most important time is before the Devo, worship, and small groups, and after that, because that's when you build the relationships. That's when you have the deepest conversations and stuff like that. And that's like you see people praying over each other in the lobby on Sundays and people in tears and talking. It's like that's the time that you build relationships and all that stuff. So yeah.
And here's a cool thing, like even as a church, we have a good selection of great communicators. You guys are fantastic at what you do at communicating. Pastor Dan, Pastor Brad, we our bench is deep when it comes to.
There's four of us outside of Pastor Brad.
Yeah.
That can do it.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Which that's good. Like you said, I think that's a deep, like you said, deep. And that's not including, I think, other people on the radar could be developed, into communicators.
Oh man.
Some of your pipeline.
Just sitting in pipeline, bro. We got some phenomenal communicators just in that.
Which I know that's something we're doing this year in pipeline, the master class for communication. So,
but I remember whenever I was lead pastor and the church and my team, the board wanted to give me a break, but still come on a Sunday. We were limited to speakers. It was me and my worship pastor.
Yeah.
And then from there, I heard of a church a long time ago. They did a series called like the Fab Four. And then what they would do is that they would pick 4 different video sermons from 4 different pastors all over the country and just play it on a Sunday. And
I've heard of that.
So that's what we did. So from Craig Rochelle to some other guys as well. Furtick at the time, I was a Furtick fan at the time, and so we would play those sermons. We would cut it up, but then we would have like popcorn one week, ice cream next week to kind of help with that engagement factor and stuff like that. So just the fact that we have so many communicators here is such a good deal. So
I think so too, and I think it just helps because what do you do? I think it puts pressure on the lead guy to either never take off or you have to bring somebody in possibly, which that costs money.
It costs money. Yeah.
Usually, when you bring someone in, if they're not another local guy that that it's customary, you pay for travel and you pay them something for coming. So it just costs money. So having And we haven't done a guest speaker here since Reframe last year. We don't do many guest speakers.
No.
Outside of on Sundays. I think that's part of the reason,
Yeah.
But yeah, occasionally. Well, I don't know if it was last year. I don't remember. At one point he wanted to bring all of our the overseers in. That way our church kind of knew who they were. And I think that was kind of one of the topics of bringing all of them in at some point. Pastor Scott Thomas out of Lakeland has been here a few times.
Yep.
He's one of those. But even locally, Josh Lipscomb at Liberty.
Now, has Josh ever come to preach on a Sunday here? Okay.
I
No.
better say I've never seen
Pastor Josh at Liberty.
I like him. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, then dude out of Gulf Breeze,
Pooley?
Pastor Robert Pooley, and then there's two that are not local, but two more in addition to Scott Thomas.
Yeah.
But yeah, bringing those in just so our church knows who they are was kind of a thing. I know this is falling.
Mine's definitely
I
falling.
feel it.
Yeah.
Tighten it up.
Yeah, it's all right. I keep diddling with it.
No, it's that little round part.
It's falling this way.
Oh, okay,
this
got
boom
it.
is.
I'm falling for you.
Please never
Okay,
sing it,
wow.
bro. Please don't. So stick
But
to preaching.
but yeah, so it's been a good couple weeks. I mean, there's been a lot going on even though it's summer.
been a lot.
I mean, Nate, you took some time off, or I think, right? Who took you were off. You
I
were
was
out.
off. Yeah. Tiff and I went to we
y'all
got
went
a
on a
tree
little
house
vacation.
in Lake Gunnersville.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that was pretty neat.
That looked pretty cool. Yeah. I know I closed on that my house.
Hey, that's
Was in your
right.
house.
And I put out that video, like the reel on TikTok and stuff, and I hope it didn't come across. I didn't want that to come across like I was bragging, like I bought something like that. I was just I was excited in a way of like, this can be done if you by anyone. That was what I was hoping the message would come across.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that.
I mean, I didn't take it any type of way.
And I hope what I didn't want anybody is in our church to see that and think something like it's weird. Like, and that's why I even said, like, honestly, I make a regular income, like a normal like we don't probably make less than you would think.
Right.
Being here at the church. So I was able to buy additional property, not because I make not because my income's high.
Right.
Is the point of that was like, several years ago, I kind of put a structure in place and that type of thing, and was able to manage my debt well and get to a place where I could do it. So it was more of an encouragement, like, you can do this,
Right?
Not a bragging on look what I did.
But I think a lot of times people have this misconception that pastors like us or people that work at a church, that we may, like, they forget that we may have extra side hustles as well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
of
extra
course.
streams of revenue, like, coming in. Like, I have a couple things that I'm doing as far as, when it comes to bringing extra money in. I have 2 other companies that we have. I know you thought about starting a company as well. John has his company. Pastor Brad has extra stuff coming in. So it's not like the church is our full-time gig. It is, but because of Pastor Brad, he has this entrepreneur spirit about him. He encourages us because we know Jesus don't pay no 401k. And so for us, we're able to have, time to go in and have extra money coming in. So whatever. So
and that is true. And it's like, there's this mixed, there's this mixed view on it, and I totally get it. Where it's like, how do you say it? I mean, it's just an interesting conversation, where it's like, what I make, there's a part of me that says it's no one's business.
Yeah.
Or what you make is no one's business. But then there's the other side. It's like, but it all comes from all of us who give to the church and donate and tithe, which we all do as well.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that everything's necessarily public knowledge. We have the where we are good as a church, and I could say this, and we could prove this is. We have set ceilings in our bylaws that payroll as a whole doesn't exceed a certain percentage of our budget.
Yep.
And we stick to that.
Yeah.
If the average church in America is like 55% of their budget or something like that is toward payroll,
like
ours is
30?
less than 40.
Yeah.
It's a little higher now than it was. At one point, it was like,
It was 27.
It was like 30. Yeah, it was like really low, which that could
then
be
we started
bad.
growing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that could be bad too because it could show you're understaffed in certain areas. And we were growing, which this year we brought
Kyle,
a couple
and
others
Vince,
on. Ashley for full time for kids. We didn't have a full time kids person forever. But with all that, we're still under 40%. So that's just healthy
Right.
financially. But I say all that to say is like, it's like, you know, because we on our personal social medias we share our life,
Right.
you know, and I was excited about this property because I just feel like anybody can do it.
Yep.
You know, and that's what my, and it was, I got to cut some feedback. Some people like hit me up and were like, want to talk more about, even like giving them some pointers on like, hey, maybe you could help me with a budget type stuff, which I'm
Yeah.
happy to do.
Yeah.
So I thought that was, if you saw that, I hoped it didn't come across. My goal was not to come across like, look what I bought this. I bought at another property. That sounds kind of like, what are you buying properties all day? And I'm like, the answer is no. I mean, it took me years to buy this.
Right.
I mean, John knows probably longer than anyone because he was around, but I've been reading about buying a rental property and listening to podcasts for years now on what to do and make the right move. And I did it finally. A lot
Do
of
you have a
paperwork.
renter for it yet?
No,
or is it
but
going on the market?
I have to. I'm going to do a couple things in mine. I'm moving into the new one.
Okay.
And I'm going to rent out
You're gonna
the one I've been living in.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a townhouse.
Yep.
I own a townhouse. I've been living in it. I bought another townhouse. So not like I'm buying, multi-$100,000 houses or
Right,
anything.
right,
But I'm going to move into the new one. I have to because I got to make it my primary the way the loans are structured.
Okay.
My primary residence. So.
Nice.
And I'm actually looking forward to it. I was telling maybe you or somebody that I'm looking forward to moving back up toward. It's on 9 Mile. It's on
right?
9 Mile. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to kind of moving back to the 9 Mile
to the
road
3-3?
area. 1-4.
1-4. Oh, okay.
3-3 is Cantonment. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm back.
I just learned that phrase, by the way.
I
I'm just
have
like,
no
oh,
idea
man.
What's
The
phrase?
3-3. I didn't know it was called the 3-3.
The can.
Yeah, the can.
No, that's the can.
I still didn't like the can. That's the Cantonment.
Can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But I'm excited about that. So I'm gonna do a couple little things in mind. I need to like spruce up. I want to maximize the rent. So a couple little things. If spending a few $100s may make me
Thousands of
dollars in rent.
Yeah.
If I just do a couple things. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm shooting to have someone in for September 1st.
Okay, that's cool.
Which should be
September 1st is a great weekend to do it because that's rally day for us for small groups.
Oh.
Just shout out to
Small
people
group
looking.
rally.
Yeah, because we have small groups coming to an end at the moment. This is the
Yeah.
last week of our season
Last
2
week of
small
small
groups.
groups. Wow. That's crazy.
And so it's been a great year so far. Well, a great season for season 2. And we're wrapping that up. Then we take August off to prepare for season 3. And it kicks off in September. So,
exciting stuff.
yeah, it's good. It's good.
It's a good
A
time.
lot of stuff happening. We got Motion Conference coming up
Oh,
this
yeah,
weekend.
you're leaving
Yeah.
Thursday.
Taking like
Leaving
55
Thursday.
kids.
Yeah.
So,
So we're excited for that. It's going to be fun. I'm just excited for Sunday to see all the students come back on fire, get some water baptisms happening, and everything.
Oh no, we've
So,
already planned for 100 baptisms that day, thanks to the student ministry. So
Yeah. So
just so you know, to prepare you, so Tiffany decided to clean out like our room yesterday, and she found like 2 or 3 of these prank things for our students to play pranks on the bus. So just want to go ahead and just let you know that ahead of time.
Love that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Love
So-
that. Love that. One of our leaders, Billy. He's
Is it a
going,
stink bomb,
he's-
maybe?
He's
No, I'm just
going,
kidding, it's not.
Bro,
So-
I swear.
Just
We would
kidding.
get in trouble for the bus. That would be
Really?
Yeah, they're pretty
Are,
serious.
are
on like,
all the
bus.
leaders riding the bus, or you'll take
Yeah,
another
all the
car?
leaders are riding the bus, but Billy, he was like, bro,
He's a big
you
prankster.
you have to get people to play pranks on me. Like he wants the students to play pranks on him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. He's like, yes, I want it to be fun. They can play pranks on me. Like, do like whatever you got. Just,
I hated
and I'm
pranks.
like, me too. I don't
I
like
hated
pranks. And
pranks.
my room is like a chill room. Like a lot of the guys are pretty chill, low key.
Yeah. My kid's not in that room. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
So,
So we'll see how. Last year there was no pranks.
Yeah.
And they were pretty good. We have a good youth group. It's not like any of the kids are
Yeah.
like, doing things that they shouldn't
on
be
death
doing.
row.
All right.
That's
all right,
normal. That's normal.
but it didn't happen.
A
And,
fight, yeah.
There's just some kids. Yeah, after Motion
Was
Conference,
one of
they're
mine?
on fire for. Yeah. No. I mean, no. Yeah,
I'm sure he was.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
So,
John was there. I remember that. Okay. Yeah.
And you're not going,
And it
are
was-
you? No, because you
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
baby. You have a new baby.
Yeah,
so.
John just had a
That's
baby,
gonna be fun though.
But I'm
It's gonna be
excited.
great.
It'll be good.
We got a nice charter bus for them all to fit on.
Yep.
charter bus, and then next year, like we gotta.
With all the extra little bit of scholarship money, it actually helped cover some of the bus too,
Yeah.
which
That's
last year
awesome.
didn't.
Yeah,
but
thank you guys, because the church, that's the church. Y'all are given to this next generation to experience God in a powerful way at this conference, and like, thank you.
So
Like,
I want to say this, and I already told you this story, but I want our people to hear it, and I'd love to hear for Pastor Justin to hear it too. But I was having a conversation with somebody within the church, and they're in a tough season at the moment. I mean, like just going through some things as a family, as a whole, like as far as with sickness and things like that, and financially it's been tough. And so, but they really wanted their son to go to Motion, and I went and had a great conversation with them as we were talking, and they were saying how God is just so faithful. I was like, yeah, well, explain. Like people say that all the time.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? You know, give me an example. And they said that they wanted their son to go to a conference. They just couldn't afford to do it. And they said this was the conversation in their home. Should we send our kid to Motion or should we pay the power bill?
Wow.
Right. And they were like, that was literally the conversation that we had to have. Do we send our kid to Motion, which we know that they need, and it'll be a great experience, or do we pay our power bill? And they were like, Pastor Rick, we had to choose the latter. I said, no, trust me. Yes, you need to pay your power bill.
Well, because even if you chose the kid, at some point you still got to pay power bill.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
So, but then he kind of teared up and he said, here's the crazy thing. After we made that decision to pay the power bill, we get a phone call from Miss Leah. And Miss Leah said, hey, and she said that, does this child, and she said the name, do they still want to go to Motion? Because we had a spot just open up. And so they're here and it's completely covered. And he was just like tears in his eyes. Just said, I am so thankful for the church that we have. And I'm so thankful for the God that I serve because God is faithful, that my son is now getting to go to Motion. And I'm just like, wow. So for those of you guys that give, thank y'all so much. I mean, you're changing kids' lives.
And me and Nate, was it last week? We went through the list of like all the scholarships and stuff. We were like going through it, getting stuff ready, and like to everyone that donated, I mean, that's above and beyond your tithe or whatever.
100%.
So like, thank you for that. But and honestly, the bus thing. So that happened last year. That was not part. I mean, we try to make Motion affordable as we can, and like honestly, Nate and they make no money on with the cost that's there. It covers the cost.
Right.
To register the kids, the hotel, and then their food while they're there. And up until last year, we would just arrange, and it was less students, so we did in vehicles. Well, last year there was so many, I was uncomfortable with all these different like, what was it, 9 vehicles going, and some of them were like look like they barely can make it to church on a regular day, then let alone make it forward. I don't mean that, you know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna put kids in there. Like what if something happens on the way and like one of the 9 has a flat tire? What happens to the whole trip? Does everyone leave and leave that group there? Like, so we last minute as a church decided that not coming out of the student budget, but we would just charter a bus from Good Time. And that's a $4,000 to $5,000 expense,
right? Yeah.
For 3 days. You got to put the driver in a room, so we had to get an extra room. But I mean, the bus alone was over $4,000, right? I believe, and but we didn't want to hit Nate and them with their budget. I felt better, and I think we talked as like the lead team was like,
we felt more comfortable.
We felt way more comfortable that they're all safe. They're all in one spot. Even back and forth to the hotel, to the venue, they're all in one instead of everybody responsible for how many kids are in their car, and the whole thing. But what we didn't do this year, knowing we'd probably need a bus again, we didn't add the cost. Like if you add the cost of the bus, I think me and Nate did the numbers. If you took the amount for the bus and then divided by how many kids, it was like it'd be another 50 or 100 per kid. 100. It was 100 per kid, just to add the bus in. Which now that's expensive. Like the total of that was, now you're pushing
$330. That'd be $330 on.
That'd be $330 per kid if you got multiple kids. That's a lot. So we're trying to figure that out for next year, knowing. And the question is, this is what I told Nate though. The bus holds 55. Well, what if there's next year 65? Well, the bus still costs what it costs.
Right.
I told Nate, it's like you really need, if you don't have 100, you got to keep it at 55. So it's like, then we're trying to like, what's the gap that we're willing to do that if there's only 75 kids, we're still willing to have 25 empty seats, and the money it costs to, 2 buses is $10,000. Right. Regardless of how many kids are on it. So, and it only holds 55 tops. So if you only have 65 kids going, like, where does that at some point not make financial sense? Right. But we're trying to figure that out for next year because we are growing, and at some point that is just a big expense. But Yeah, I told Nan's like, maybe
As
we need
a parent of 2 teenagers, thank y'all for not raising the price to $100.
Well, you can
Well,
thank,
no, well, yeah,
I
just
was like,
you can thank
it'd been
Leah,
rough.
Tiff, and Lexi. They killed it. They kept, like, even I know there's some other people. It's like, hey, like, what did you do to keep the tickets so low? Like how can we learn from you and stuff? And it's like, that's
Well, and another thing that Nate asked if he could do, apparently at Motion they advertise the super early bird for next year.
Yep.
And I approved for him to go ahead and buy more up
55
front.
tickets. Yeah.
So,
that's cool.
so
That's the cheapest we're gonna get.
they're the cheapest you can
Yeah.
get them to help keep it down and that type of thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to be able to somehow sweet talk Good Time Tours into donating. I mean, if if the buses were donated, that's a game
great.
changer.
Yeah,
But I get it.
In the end, like that podcast we just listened to with Mark Pettis and Chris Hodges, and like
Yeah.
it's like if churches that are pouring all that they have into the next gen, young adults, youth, and kids ministries, like they're seeing the most growth.
Right.
And it's like
And not just growth in those areas.
Right.
Growth,
growth
everywhere.
Yeah, and which is pretty cool. And I'm grateful that we have a church that believes in the next gen and wants to pour into it, and not just like with prayers, but finances and like.
Right.
you
Well,
know,
and I think you saw that too. I think you witnessed it firsthand. If anything, last year working with me, I'm known as the no guy when it comes to spending money, right? But you have to be because we only have so much money. We don't have an unlimited supply of it.
Yeah.
And honestly, if from a budget perspective, you pull $5,000 for this,
You gotta take
it
this
was
out
budget.
of
It's
somewhere.
got to come from somewhere else,
yeah.
theoretically. So it's like, all right, who are we taking this from?
Yeah.
From the fund we buy coffee with on Sunday, or your paycheck, or like, what is it? Where does
Yeah.
this come from? But everything's an expense technically, but at some point you have to look at some things as an investment.
It's an investment.
Because
you paid
into
for that
it.
last year. You had 15 kids get water baptized and give their life to Jesus.
Right,
And-
it's
and
that it's that eternal ROI
Absolutely.
mentality. We'll never see that. We'll never see a return on that financially, probably, and maybe you do. I think this year, like I said, we were able to raise even some extra to help cover the overall cost of the bus. Which helps tremendously, but it's exciting that they get
It
to do
is.
that.
It is.
So. I'm still torn, honestly. I never went to a student conference like that. When me and John were doing student ministry, we did the youth camps. Which completely different.
Which I still think
environment.
there's power in a youth camp.
And they're much longer. It's a whole week.
Yeah.
It's a whole week
And
versus
that's-
a couple days.
and because I'm newer to this, so it's like we're still like trying to figure out and getting like a foundation on like, hey, halfway through the year, do we want to do a camp? And then we do motion
And,
conferences.
I think of your preference. I mean, half the youth group would say we want to keep. I would imagine if you did a camp too, and you voted, which one do we go do from now on? A conference or camp? Half would probably say I want to do camp, and half would say
camp is
conference.
cool, but then all these kids are like, oh, I get to see over 15,000 other teenagers
Right.
worship Jesus, and they're like, I would much rather do that, And that's a generational thing, I think, as well. Is like
Right.
maybe it's like a shift in what.
And what we always did to help with that would be we would do a large conference thing in the summertime, and in the fall time do a camp that was cheaper though. So instead of a $250 trip, it was only a $100 trip to go. So it was the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's something that you guys could probably look into moving forward is something maybe cheaper.
Yeah.
So.
And the hard part for us too, not being in a denomination, is even at camp, you got to go rent. Like Camp Baldwin is not
Right.
far, and it's nice. You still got to rent it, But like where we used to go to, it was the Assembly of God camp that in Mariana. That was completely owned by the denomination. It was it was a lot less money, which was cool, but it's just different. It's different. There's a Christian camp. I think it's in Mariana, but it's not the AG camp that has like the big lake and stuff. And do like water games, but it's like completely an independent, like non-denominational thing that
That's-
either churches can go, but like even like families can go. They have all kind of cool stuff. Which I saw that, which looked kind of cool. They have like what's that thing from the movie called The Blob?
The Blob.
The Blob thing in the lake. You know what I'm talking about?
like where you jump on it and somebody flies.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Have you ever done that before?
I haven't. No.
Oh my gosh.
No.
I bet that's fun. I've
That was
never
the
done.
best thing in the world.
Yeah.
But I was
see it,
always a guy that was jumping because I was always bigger. I was like 300 pounds jumping on that mug, launching little girls off, little boys off, like 10 years old.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny.
So, you want to hear something funny?
All right.
So, last Sunday at church, there's this girl. There's
Dream Teamer.
I'm not talking about what you're talking about.
We were both thinking that.
I know,
I'm
I'm
not
talking about that.
going there. So
No, there's two girls in our church that are in the youth in the students.
Okay.
That have been with us from what I remember of around 21 Days of Prayer.
okay.
What's her name?
Exandria?
Yes.
Yeah, we said she watches. I was gonna.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Exandria.
Oh,
Yeah.
Exandria.
Exandria,
Oh,
yeah,
my God.
Exandria.
Exandria is phenomenal.
And
And
Orlandra.
Orlandra.
Yeah.
Oh, Exandria and Orlandra. Okay,
Yeah.
they watch. Hey guys. Anyways,
Shout out.
she last Sunday she brings me this. I'm walking through the lobby, and she hands me this little Jesus thing, right? And I just took it and like it was like in passing. I've never interacted with either one of them for whatever reason. Not it just. I think maybe once or twice, just like not much interaction. I'll put it that way. And so she hands me this little Jesus, and I took it because I was like walking back to the. I was walking into the auditorium for the next service to start. And then later, when I came out, there was like a group of people here in the lobby, some greeters and stuff, but they were in the like circle of people talking. So I walked in, and I pulled it out, the little Jesus, and I said, I was kind of like stern, like serious on purpose,
Yeah.
but like as a joke. But I said, you trying to tell me I need Jesus in my life?"
Oh, no.
And she had this
Oh,
look
no,
like
dude.
she had this look like it was a joke, and I was like, "I'm just kidding." And then so then she says, "I love y'all's podcasts and I watch it all the time." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Glad to hear that." She said, "Before I started watching the podcast and got to see who you are on the podcast, I was terrified of you." And I was like, "What?" She was like, "I was so scared of you." And I was like, "What? Why?" And she's like, "I don't know, but like you intimidated me or something." She's like, "I was terrified of you." And I was like, well, I'm really. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Like that's not. I don't want nobody to be scared. I was like, there's nothing to be scared of. Like but she said something like, you just like you're kind of always like on mission. I shouldn't use those words. Like in the zone. I was like,
Yeah.
I said it's funny you said it because I'm aware of that. Like that is you're not the first person who's ever said that. You
Right.
know, and it's like I try real hard to not. Especially on a Sunday, I was like, I am at work still, and sometimes I'm in like this work mode, and I try real hard not to be. I was like, so I'm so sorry you felt like that. She's like, but I watched the podcast, and it's like, you're so different on the podcast. I was like, that's really me on the podcast. But I thought that was funny. So
Now,
shout out to you guys. Thank y'all for
Yeah.
watching. But and I'm sorry.
Here's what's funny about her too. So, John, does our podcast usually upload like late nights to YouTube? When does it normally upload?
She said her alarm is like at 12
She sets her
a.m.
alarm for 12 a.m. on Wednesday mornings.
Okay, so yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
We upload it the day before it releases in the schedule.
So she sets
Yeah.
her alarm
So
for
she
right
sets
when
her
it comes
alarm
out.
for 12 a.m. and she sits up and she goes, "Pastor Rick, I'm just sitting there and I'm just cackling all to myself in my bedroom watching the podcast." And I'm like,
That's wild.
Exandria, go to sleep.
Yeah.
So, because
Listen, right
this
now,
is your
go
senior
to
year.
sleep. Turn it off. Hit pause. Go to sleep. Get it in the morning. Check us out when you wake up. Yeah, nah.
So, but she's amazing, man. Like she came in 21 Days of Prayer. Her and Orlandra, man, they bring teenagers here. She brought another girl from that. But that's a kicker on a football team.
Yeah. Yeah.
She kicks field goals.
Scambia.
Oh, wow.
At Escambia. But
Yep.
she came on a Wednesday night. Now she's been 2 Sundays in a row, and
Yep.
so all thanks to
Oh, that's cool.
Exandria. So
Yeah,
shout out to you, Exandria. You're
I just
awesome.
she said I was terrified. I was like, what? I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not scary. Am I scary?
You're not scary. I think for you is just at times, number one, your facial expressions when you are in the zone.
Is it intense?
And then your tone.
Yeah.
I think that could be it as well. So
I don't know. I think that's just, because Leah has told me before that she saw somebody and was talking to this one lady, and she's seen me set up like the water baptism tank or something on a Sunday morning. She's like, "Your husband's so intense," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"What? Like, no." But then
But I do get it,
Yeah.
and it's like, I do get it, and obviously I don't want anyone to think that I don't want no one to be scared of me because that makes me feel bad. One, and being in the like we're at church, but it's also, but I do get to like as there's like growth and there's people in the church that you don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Like there's people we don't know. Like they've been coming in from 21 Days of Prayer. That was January,
Yeah.
and I have not interacted with them outside of maybe a hi or good morning until 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right. It's July. You know what I'm saying? Like it's possible to go months and not interact with someone if you
Yeah,
just
DC,
don't do
yeah,
it. Yeah. But people also, because we're on staff and the pastors and all this stuff, like they see us and they form a impression in their head, right. wrong, or indifferent, or like, you know, a lot of times it's like a caricature of yourself sometimes, you know. That's unfortunate, I guess, but that's why you got to try hard. I think that, and I am aware that sometimes I can come across that way, so I try real hard to, you know, that's why I'm glad I don't have to oversee a lot of the teams and stuff, because that would throw me off sometimes, especially if stuff was not right, you know, or stuff goes wrong, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
stuff to work on. It's a work in progress. So,
Work in progress.
I thought that was funny. So,
All
anyways,
a work in
Yeah.
progress.
glad y'all didn't leave because you were scared of me or something.
That's true.
But the little Jesus, she
Yeah,
asked
I got my little Jesus, and I have it on my desk.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
on my desk. She
Yeah.
asked me on a Wednesday night. She's like, "Hey Nate, do you think I could bring in and give out little Jesuses on Sunday?"
Well, then
I'm
I was like, this
you
Jesus
go
is
ahead and do
real white. This is a white guy Jesus.
White guy
And she was like, I was like, you think Jesus looks like this? Straight flowing hair.
Yeah.
I call him Fabio Jesus.
Fabio
Remember
Jesus.
Fabio?
Oh yeah.
Fabio.
Do you remember Fabio?
Yeah.
Oh,
You do?
Wow. Yeah.
Nate finally watched Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. Yes,
Yes.
I did. It was funny, but not as funny as they made it seem like it was.
And that
it wasn't.
I'll,
we know
I'll
real
take
comedy,
that.
you don't.
Yeah. I'll take that. It is a different generation, so I get it.
I mean, you could. Yeah, I guess that could be it. I don't know, or maybe it just wasn't as funny as y'all. Because
Oh, no, it's hilarious.
until I met y'all, I've never heard anybody talk about Dumb and Dumber the way you guys talk about it.
Yeah, because
but you're 26,
You hang out with
like-
other people your age.
Yeah.
I have parents. I have older siblings. I have older cousins that are like the same age. and
Y'all are
stuff,
all just
I
dumb.
don't- I was in the military. I was in
No
the
offense to
military
your
with
mom and
all
dad.
ages. I don't.
You have no taste.
Yeah, you're surrounded with no taste people.
I've been around a lot of people in my
But
life.
I do know what you mean. We said yesterday, like, I remember, like, my dad's generation would talk about how funny, like, Blazing Saddles was. And I was like, oh, let me watch this one time. And I was like,
That's dumb.
what is this?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
But there was funny parts.
There's funny parts.
It's
Yeah,
funny.
There's
It's
funny.
funny. It's
Yeah.
it's just iconic for our generation. It is a classic.
We have no food.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
Such a great line.
It's so quotable. It's so quotable. Yeah, great movie.
Great movie.
Anyways, yeah. So, Pastor Brad is on a cruise.
He is.
Him and Ashley,
Very well, like
and a
this
couple
is, I
others
think this is his first cruise ever. isn't
ever,
it?
and they picked a long one for the first one. They
7
picked the 7 days. Like,
days. Yeah,
ooh,
that's
y'all
long,
are
that's
bold.
Yeah.
Y'all are
I'm
bold.
about 5. I can only last.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, 5 is
So-
enough.
I bet I don't know what day they're on. What day are
They
they
get
on?
back on Saturday.
They get back on
so
Saturday. Yeah.
They still got some. I bet they're having fun, but like, you know,
Yeah.
there's only so much.
I don't like. I'm sure they're having fun, but I don't know about PB. Like, I just wonder if
Well,
he's
here-
already ready to get home.
Yeah.
I could see
no,
that.
no,
Like,
because
get
here's
home,
here's
play
my
golf,
thing.
you know.
Not that I want to condemn or condone anything, but like, I feel like people go on cruises. Like, if you don't drink at all, I see how you could be like at some point. Not that I think you should, if you're going on a cruise, drink. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have said that at all because I'm now it's but it's
I
like
would-
you
I
know what
don't-
I'm saying. Like, you can only eat so much of the free food and the stuff.
I don't know because I can still be on a cruise and
But
not
listen,
drink.
so
and
I'll
be
give you a
perfectly
different
fine.
perspective though. So for Tiff and I, we don't do that on the cruise.
'Cause I don't
But
wanna-
For us, whenever we go on a cruise, we like the fact that number one, there's no cell service. Number two, we can go anywhere on a boat and just sit and read if we want to.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that type of atmosphere for us. So that's why we like it. Nobody can get a hold of us. All the food we want, but we don't have to think for ourselves. Like, we can just literally walk around and just sit. My wife would sit and read a book for 3 to 4 hours, find herself a little nook on like a little window, and
Yeah.
just watch the water and read.
That's cool.
Yeah, that
So,
don't
yeah,
sound fun to me.
dope.
Yeah,
I would have
No,
to be on a cruise with like almost all adults because I couldn't do. kids running
I've
around
been
like
once
crazy.
and we had a big group, like 12 people,
Yeah.
and that to me made it fun.
That could be fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Because then, like, there was in the 12, there was some that were couples and some that weren't, and all that. So, like, for dinner, like, I remember one night we would all do dinner together, except if one of the couples want to do like their own little date night at one of the fancier restaurants.
Yeah.
Like when we went, I mean, it was like 09. We didn't have a lot of money, you know. So I'm like trying to get like, how cheap can I go on this cruise type deal. So I paid for no shore excursions. I paid for no. The only food I ate was the stuff that was included. I didn't pay the extra for the Italian restaurant or whatever. It's like whatever's like I need as cheap as we can go.
Yeah.
And it was a blast. It was a total blast. But we were only like it was like a 4-night, 5-day, which was perfect.
I love cruises. I love them.
Yeah.
We did, the only short excursion we did is we rented scooters in Nassau, but we didn't do it through the cruise company. Somebody just said when you
only
get
way to do
off,
it.
there's locals and stuff that have it.
Yeah, Tiff and I, every time we go to Mexico through the cruise line, we would right when we get off the boat, we go rent a Jeep, and we'll just take the Jeep around the whole place.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So and we get lost because I can't speak a lick of Spanish, and so I don't know what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can imagine they're probably having fun, but I can imagine they're going to be like at some day
I just
4.
think for PB, just knowing him, I think day 4 he's ready to get back.
Yeah.
So
He's probably in the room just watching a movie. You know what I mean? Because
But
he's
he needed to go
But
on a
he's
cruise
also not the
because
type that he doesn't like the beach.
Right.
And my
Yeah.
thing with the cruise, like you're going to beachy, like you're going to the private island. It's a beach
Unless
thing.
they have like golf simulators. Maybe they have some golf
Maybe.
simulators or
never know.
you know, they might have a casino. I don't know. That's their thing, playing a slot or something. I don't know. You know, there's stuff to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember when I went on the cruise, it was 09, so I don't know how old I was. I must have been
Oh, 9.
23, 24, maybe something like that.
because you old now, so he's
Okay.
39, right?
Okay, okay, wow.
I was like 10.
But no, me and my buddy were sharing a room, right? Because it's like dual room, so I'm sharing with a buddy, and some, like I said, some of them were couples, but some of us weren't. But like the ones of us that were not like with a couple, we're just like we're not sleeping the whole time we're here. Me and this dude were barely in the room, and I remember one night we were sitting like just hanging out talking in the nightclub, quote unquote nightclub area, because it had the music playing and there's lights going and music. And at one point we look around and we're like, where is everybody? There's not a worker in sight. No,
Oh
we're the
my
only two
gosh.
people in the nightclub because it's a weeknight.
Yeah.
And there's just music and stuff. And then somebody wandered in a worker, but it was like the whole ship's asleep except us. It's like 3:34 in the morning. You know, we're just sitting there hanging out. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, cruises, but
I'd like to go on another one. I'd go on another one for sure.
I think I
I'd like to
would.
go on a nicer one. We went on Norwegian, which was really nice, but it was like an older boat. So I'd like to go. They went on a Royal Caribbean, one of the new boats, the newer ships.
Oh, nice.
From what I understand.
They
So
probably have a golf simulator on it then.
I have a lot more fun stuff. Yeah, I'm sure they're having fun. There's 3 couples that went. With 2 other couples went with them.
Yeah.
So it's not just them 2, but
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
Sweet.
And then what do we got coming up? We had Surf Day last week. And
Surf
then,
Day last week.
Last week, which was
We have the kids going to motion.
Going
We
to
had the
Motion.
meetup happening.
August 4th.
August 4th.
21 Days of Prayer.
20 Days of Prayer starts August 4th, and the meetup is August 4th.
And then
Yep.
Reframe Conference. I don't know if we put that out yet.
Reframe be the end of
Towards the end of
August.
It's open. People can go sign up.
Go sign
Yeah.
up for Reframe Conference.
Reframe
It's
Conference is
phenomenal.
on go to mytc.life. It's there. 21 Days of Prayer starts August 4th, Sunday, August 4th.
Yep.
During the week, we will be here at 6 a.m., 6 to 7 a.m. for prayer every morning during the week. And then on Saturday from 9 to 10. 1 hour a day. It's early, we know. It's supposed to be.
That's right.
It's a sacrifice.
Yep.
We always enjoy it. I know I do. The first week can be... Actually, the first week is easier for me.
It's hard.
The third week for me, I'm like, okay, you know. But
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard for me because I mean we're coming out after motion and then
Hey.
going. It's just like and then we just go right into it. So it definitely, it's definitely hard. But
And then we end 21 Days of Prayer with Reframe.
Yep.
This is our third year doing Reframe Conference, right? Or second?
I think it's third.
I mean, third or fourth.
Yes, third.
That's just the third.
Third.
I believe. Yeah, so that's exciting. We got
Yeah.
that coming up. And then,
Like a church conference for TC, but other people invite other people if they want to come.
yeah, no doubt. And then the meetup is August 4th, and that is for
6 to
anybody.
8. 6 to 8.
It's
We
up.
changed the times.
Yeah, we did change the times, which I think it's better.
Yeah.
If you've been with us for the last 3 or 4 months, if you're new to Transformation Church the last 3 or 4 months, come to the Coffee Guy Cafe, Davis Highway, August 4th, 6 p.m.
Yep.
Our staff and our team is there to kind of get to know everybody.
And it's free coffee.
It's free.
Free coffee.
It's hard to get to know.
Free
It's hard to get to know the leaders and other people even on a Sunday. So we do this 3 times a year we love to meet you and your family and get a chance. Our leaders are there, staff, and the whole thing. So it's fun.
I had somebody ask about it in Next Steps. We had 26 28, 26 people
Something like
complete
that.
Next Steps,
Yeah.
right? And I mentioned it in Next Steps, and after Next Steps, somebody came to me like, what is the meetup? And my joke has always been, picture like Christian speed dating. And they're like, what? I go, you sit at a coffee table, and then you'll just have the pastors and the leaders just come around and just have conversations because we want to generally get to know you.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, like you said, to get to know everybody when there's 1,200 people on campus.
Yeah.
And so
I missed the last one. Something happened. Did Brad miss too, or was he there?
No, I think he was there.
I think he was
The
there.
last one, y'all were short.
I'm always short.
Short staffed.
Yeah,
I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
I was there.
PB got there a little late.
There was something going on.
I don't
remember what it was. Irrelevant, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I just remember I had to pay for it. I
Yeah.
mean, I had to use my church card, not me.
Yeah, yeah.
So, because people are like, hey, because PB was like, hey, don't forget, Justin's not here. I need you to cover it. So, oh yeah, I got it. That's only how I remember that you weren't there. So.
yeah, I was out of town or something, but
Yeah. It's a fun time though.
It's so good.
it's gonna be
Love
good.
it. So,
Then moving into the last.
shout out to the coffee guy folks.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Then moving to the last season of the year.
Last season.
Can't believe it.
Crazy.
Can't believe it.
It's crazy. I
got
feel
it.
like 2024 just started.
I know.
Like,
21 days of prayer.
am I getting old to where it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
That's how it
stuff is
happens.
here.
That's how you wake up one day 39.
That's right. Almost in your 40s. Almost approaching death. Anyways. No,
Wow.
that's
I'm
wild.
already there because I'm.
That's wild.
So,
Oh
but yeah, because we have Reframe, then we have Rally Day for small groups,
Yep.
then Trunk or Treat.
And all this
Church at the movies.
School's back. I know it doesn't affect
Yeah.
anybody, but
Yeah, school
for
school
me,
goes back.
like that. I'm
Then you have
gone 4
the
days a week in schools.
Election happening.
I forgot
And then it's over
about
with.
Church at the Movies.
Church at
Yeah,
the
and then
movies.
and then our Trunk or Treat's always a big thing.
Big hit.
Yeah,
Oh.
I see so many people that hate on like Church at the Movies and like Trunk or Treat on like Instagram Reels and stuff. They're like, that's just ridiculous. Why do you do that in such a sacred place? And it's like,
Listen, we
well,
had
how many-
somebody here because their church is doing Church at the Movies, and they were here on Sunday. They were like, "Yeah, we love our church, but we're not really feeling the Church at the Movies thing that they're doing in the summertime.
But
so we
how
just want
many
to come here and
people?
get fed."
How many people do we see getting saved during those Sundays?
Oh yeah, it's
like
phenomenal.
that's
So.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is.
Anyways, well,
So,
it's
that's
been a
good.
good time. Good times.
Good times. Good times.
Well,
Great times.
Okay, good. That's all. That's all Nate has
That's
to
it. That's all Nate has to say.
Wow.
So, Nate,
So-
come this Sunday, Baptism Sunday. It's gonna
Baptism
be,
Sunday.
Baptisms.
We got a guest.
Pastor
guest
Brad to be
speaker.
here, but we have a guest speaker.
Guest speaker.
We
It's
do.
Gonna be here.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Uh,
We
awesome.
did. It's
We're
gonna be
excited
fun.
about that.
We're excited. Good times.
It's gonna be awesome.
Good times for TC.
Good times for
Good
TC.
times for TC.
All right. Well,
Well,
I don't know how do we close. What do we say?
I think we're here.
Justin, tell everybody where they could find, all
Find
that
more.
information
Yeah.
out. Yeah, find more.
Transformationchurch.com. Hey, or social media at Transformation Pensacola.
That's it.
Boom.
We out here.
Boom. We out here.
We out here. Catch us next week for another message recap podcast.
Did we even talk about the message?
Yeah, kind of.
Kinda.
No,
That's okay.
we
It's
didn't
all right.
at all.
No.
See y'all.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.